In this video, we're going to learn everything you need to know to integrate the graph on your dApp. This video is for developers or for people that are curious and want to know how Indexer works. And yeah, I want to experiment a little bit too. We're going to launch a smart contract. We're going to index that smart contract. What index means is storing all the information, important information from the smart contract, and then in a way that is easy for redistribution. And then we're going to query that information from JavaScript, so you can integrate it in a React app, in a Vue or Angular or whatever you're using. And the good thing that I like about the graph is that this indexing is done in a decentralized way, in a more decentralized way than just running your own server, because it's secured by the GRT or the graph tokens nodes that are put some graph on stake, just to make sure that they are indexing the information and they are distributing in a decentralized way. Just know that it's like more decentralized. The most decentralized way to get information is through an RPC node. Direct is more direct, and it's more straightforward, but that method is a bit slower, and that's why we want an indexer, so we can query different information faster. Also, historical data can be queried in a very faster. And that's why this enables stuff such as dashboards and also critical DeFi stuff. For example, time-sensitive stuff such as Uniswap routing uses this, so that you can find your best routes by using the graph on the backend. That all the information is already indexed, so you can query very quickly which is the best route. And I think it's very cool and it's worth exploring. So maybe if you're building a dApp or just want to explore, I think it's something that's good to know, like also because you want to know how everything works behind the scenes. Okay, let's start by just launching. Oh, by the way, we're going to be using MetaMask, and well, you can use whatever wallet you want, but we're going to be using Scroll testnet, and I'll leave you the links on MetaMask, Scroll, faucets, and bridges, everything you need here. So you need to have MetaMask on your, you need to have Scroll on your MetaMask with some funds, so you can try it. Also, if you want to follow this guide using whatever other chain that Scroll, I'm going to show you exactly what changes you need to do. Okay, so let's get started by deploying this classic greeting contract. We're going to go to Remix, and I'm going to call it demo en of English, demo n, and then we're going to compile it using the latest compiler to, at this time, the time that I record this video, we're going to compile, then we're going to go to injected provider. This is on MetaMask. I already have Scroll Sepolia, and this is the chain ID of Scroll Sepolia, so I'm good to go. So I'm going to deploy it now. And yeah, this is the first step. We're going to be indexing this example, very simple example, but there's one thing important here, is that we're going to be emitting events. And it's very easy for the graph to automatically index the event if we told the nodes to do that. I'm going to show you exactly how, but you can also just know that if you're deploying a smart contract and you want to make it easier for the graph, you should add events. But if you already deploy your dApp and you don't have events on it, so don't worry, the graph also is equipped to index information other than events. But yeah, we won't be covering that in this guide. That's a little bit more advanced, but don't worry about it. You can also do it. Okay, so next step is a suggestion that I suggest you to go and verify your contract on Etherscan. So I'm going to go to Sepolia Scroll Scan, which is the Etherscan on Scroll, and I'm going just to verify my contract. And this will make the process easier. And yeah, that's what I would recommend you to do. But you don't have to do it. This is not like mandatory, but it just makes everything just easier. Okay, so now I verify my contract. So yeah, The next step here is going to be, we're going to be downloading the CLI tool that the Graph provides that helps us like creating the subgraphs locally and then deploying them like externally. Okay, so now the smart contract is verified. Here is the code. Here the deploy. Oh, and one very important thing is that before we move on, let's just feed them with some data and just whatever data, so it can have some like index data that will be indexed. Like this information, as you know, as you can see, we're going to be emitting events, and that will be indexed by the graph easily. And yeah, if we refresh here, you can see now some new transactions that will be indexed by the graph. Okay, so let's go back to the guide. As you know, the guide is always on the description, and you can follow it and copy paste or whatever. So let's go to the graph.com/studio. So when you go here, then go to my subgraphs, make sure you are on scroll, and then create a subgraph. And since you are already on MetaMask, so in previous version of the graph, you, as you can see in this old image that I have here, you have to pick the chain, but here it will pick automatically from MetaMask, so you know how to do it. I'm going to call this demo en for English. You can put whatever name you want, and here you go. Now you created a subgraph. Next step is going to be this is what I mean by optional. I'm going to show you. You don't need to do this because you already verified the contract. But if you don't want to verify, or if you're another chain and you don't know where to verify, you can do it like this. You will need to go and create a file named myabi.json and paste this abi there. Or you can also grab it if you have another contract. You can grab it from the compiler tab and go to app. You select the contract here and go to abi and just paste it here, save. And that's it. And then you will need to reference this file. But you don't need to do this because you already verify the contract on Etherscan. Okay, so next step is going to be just going to this, running a couple of commands on the CLI, and we first make sure that you have npm installed. I have this. I'm using nvm, and once you have installed Node, once you make sure you install Node.js, you can install the graph like this. I already have installed, but yeah, you can reinstall it again. And what this command will do, this will install a command named graph, and the graph is responsible for creating a new graph project locally on your machine. Also will be responsible for compiling it and preparing all the files that will then be uploaded, and finally deploying the subgraph, which is basically a combination of uploading some files to IPFS and then signaling the Graph Studio that everything was deployed. Okay, so now you can check if you have the graph installed. So yeah, I have the version 0.62. And we can continue with this. So now I'm going to create a new project, but I'm going to call it demo en, and it's going to ask me a couple of questions. Here with your keyboard, you can pick your you can select here Ethereum. We're deploying on a scroll, but scroll is EVM, so if you're deploying on any EVM chain, you should pick Ethereum. Now the slug is the same one that you put here, so I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here, which is basically the same. Do you want to create a new directory? Yes. And here we can pick, as you can see, here are all the supported chains. We're going to be using Scroll Sepolia, and Yeah, just pick whatever chain that you are using. These are all the EVM chains. And remember that if you are using an EVM chain and it's not on that list, you can't use the Subgraph Studio. You can't use like the decentralized nodes from the graph, but you can still run your own indexer, which will be centralized, or you can like look for way for decentralizing it, but still it will be centralized. But yeah, you can still do it. But yeah, of course, it's better if you use the Subgraph Studio because it's decentralized and you have these node operators that are incentivized, which is very cool. Okay, now next we choose Scroll Sepolia. Now we pick the contract address, which is this one. And as you can see, it fetched the ABI from Etherscan. That's why we don't need to do this extra step. So if you didn't verify your contract on Etherscan, you will need to manually input your this ABI file here. So yeah. Now the start block, leave this. This is the recommended one. So this is the first block where the indexer will start like querying information. This is the recommended one because this is the block where your contract was deployed. As you can see, this one. So this is good. Just leave it like that. The contract name, just put the contract name, just copy here and paste here. And this is very important. Index contract events as entities. Yes, like true, because we want to index these events. So it's very easy if you just do it like that. But remember, as I say before, you can also query and index different events, different information other than events. But yeah, if you index events, it's just easier. That's why I did this smart contract like that. So now it's going to create a new project locally on your PC. You can also like configure it. You can also do the more advanced stuff like querying extra information like that in there. But yeah, we're going to keep it like that. You want to add another contract? No. So there you go. We finished the first command. Now we're going to authenticate. So we're going to, well, I think this is private. So I guess I'm going to delete this stuff later. But yeah, I'm going to, because I already showed in the video. But yeah, this way I authenticate. So I connected my local project with the subgraph that I will be deploying. And next I'm going to cd into my subgraph directory. As you can see, he created all of this. And then I'm going to prepare locally all the files on my PC. There you go. And finally, I'm going to just release it. And I'm going to put the, demo en. This is the name of my subgraph. So I put it there and I deploy it. And he's going to ask me for a version. It just recommends server. It's just like the version number. You can use whatever version you want. I'm going to use the recommended one. It's going to compile it, upload to IPFS, and then signal the studio that I deploy a subgraph. And there you go. It's deployed. And here, as you can see, something that wasn't here before is this part. This was empty. Now we can go ahead and query this using this interface. And the thing is, like here, you can paste information here and just query it. And there you go. As you can see, now all the information that I grabbed, that put in the smart contract was indexed, and now is like presented in this GraphQL manner. If you ask me, I will prefer like just normal REST APIs and JSON stuff, but yeah, they're using GraphQL, which is a bit harder to deal with. But I have this example on JavaScript and that you can use to query using the GraphQL method if you're used to more like the JSON, like the more normal stuff. So here I'm just going to put here the URL from, you can put this or this one, whatever you want. I'm going to put the latest one and just go for it. And it will return all the data here. As you can see here, like grabbing all the information here, just like here. So this is just for you for test around and just see if everything is working. And here is for like just for example, if you're using React or whatever you're using, you can query the information. This is like an example that I bring to you guys. Okay, so if you are like a developer wanting to integrate this, like let me know in the comments if you integrate this on any of your dApps, or if you see any use case, or if you like the graph project, or yeah, any comment, let me know. And yeah, thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.